Hi, my name is Libby Newman. I'm a Senior Investment Specialist here at Vanguard, with you again for this month's monthly economic and market outlook. As we look around the world, we've started to see some developed market economies entertain rate cuts. We saw Canada actually cut their rates in June, and we also saw the Eurozone cut rates in June. But spare a thought for those still in the emerging markets economies who are still grappling with double-digit interest rates even after 7 rate cuts. In the Canadian region, which is sometimes used as a little bit of a parallel, we've got a lot of similarities in terms of the type of things that go on in our economies registering versus Australia. But this time around, there's a much weaker labour market backdrop in Canada, which has meant that they could start cutting their rates a little bit sooner than us. In the Eurozone, we've just really started to see some growth come through after 5 sort of sluggish quarters over there. So that's another reason why they're cutting rates a little bit sooner. In the UK, we anticipate that the Bank of England is going to be thinking about cutting rates at their August meeting, although that hinges a little bit on what the direction of the Fed might look like at that point as well. But if you look around the world, the direction of interest rate policy we think is ultimately down for most developed market economies, but the timing is a little bit different, and so that's where we see some divergence happening. In the US, we have seen some more benign inflation data come through, which has meant that the market has anticipated that there might be rate cuts there as soon as September. Our base case is still that we won't see a rate cut through 2024, and we still think that the housing costs in what component of inflation will be a factor there. In Australia, we've seen some softer GDP data, and so we can see that monetary policy is really starting to grip a little bit. But we're still seeing elevated unit labour costs coming through, which is hampering the picture from an inflation trajectory. We've also had some inflation data. We've had monthly inflation data, which was a little bit stronger than the market anticipated, and both on a headline and a core level. And so that's something that's also front of mind for the RBA, although note that monthly series is relatively new and not as broad-based as the quarterly data that we've been getting from the ABS for some decades. So with that backdrop, we don't think that the RBA is going to be hiking rates in August, even with those inflation numbers that we've seen. And we do think that the RBA is probably going to be the last economy in the world to think about cutting rates. Thanks for joining us again. For all the details, make sure you click on the full report, and we look forward to seeing you next month.